Live at 11, CBS 47 Fox 30 Action News Jax starts right now.
A dangerous new twist on people hiding their identity to lure in others into meeting in person. Teens are now using social media to try to meet up with people that they suspect of being sexual predators. I'm Tanika Hughes.
And I'm Ben Becker. Action News Jax Jake Stofan joins us live. And Jake, the social media trend has started to pop up in Northeast Florida.
Well, obviously, everyone wants child predators taken off the street, but from a law enforcement perspective, this just simply isn't the way to go about it. Not only from a safety standpoint, but also because private citizens simply do not have the necessary training to ensure a sound and prosecutable investigation. St. Johns County Sheriff's Office says twice in just the last week, deputies responded to calls of minors soliciting alleged child predators and trying to confront them in public. So the agency took to social media to warn parents about the dangers.
Please do not participate in this trend.
We've seen this before. Online, you can find hundreds of videos of adults setting up child predator stings. Many of those videos end in violence. We found one YouTube account that has set up at least 2 stings in Duval and 1 in Clay County within the past 6 months.
She says, do you like that I'm 13 or do you just not care?
We blurred the faces of the accused because we could not validate any pending charges against the individuals.
Playing this game can lead to terrible, unwanted consequences for these individuals.
Action News Jax law and safety expert Dale Carson explains attempting a predator sting, especially for minors, puts them at risk of assault, kidnapping, or even being murdered. And beyond that, a lack of police training could result in evidence being thrown out, making it more difficult or even impossible for law enforcement to press charges.
In addition to which, you may get someone slandered in a way that causes that individual either to sue you or worse.
Carson says it's not surprising teens are jumping on this trend, but at the end of the day, he argues this work is better left to law enforcement.
Doing things that could literally end up in their being killed. And they have no appreciation for that.
And Carson did urge members of the community, if you do have reason to suspect someone is engaging in illegal activity like preying on children, the right move is always to report that to law enforcement rather than attempting to take justice into your own hands. For local coverage you can count on live on the South Bank, I'm Jake Stofan, Action News Jax.
We want to give you some perspective on just how often children are being approached for sex online. According to a Justice Department report, these cases more than doubled nationwide from 2019 to 2021. Those are the most current stats available. The Department of Justice says of all adolescent sexual assault victims, 74% knew the attacker, more than 32% were friends, and 21% were adult or child relatives.
Action News Jax got an inside look at the local efforts to protect kids from online predators. In 2022, 7 sheriff's offices teamed up to form the North Florida Intercept Task Force. Last year, they got 663 cyber tips, and that led to 75,000 images and videos with child sexual abuse material. And that led to 31 arrests, 21 convictions, and 18 offenders sentenced. The Federal Office for Homeland Security Investigations launched a campaign called Know to Protect, and the goal is to teach parents and kids how to stay safe online.
Really what it comes down to is having conversations with your kids of the dangers.
Now, the HSI says parents should make sure all privacy settings are on their devices and remind kids not to chat with anyone they don't know in the real world.
Jacksonville is on pace for about 50% fewer violent deaths this year than in 2023. Stats reported by JSO show there have been 40 cases of murder, manslaughter, or justifiable homicides. Compare that to 145 in all of 2023 and 160 in all of 2022. A JSO chief and the leader of an anti-crime community group say police work and the community outreach programs are working.
Being concerned, taking action, it makes a difference. And that transcends to other people, because when people see you doing, they talk.
We have a very proactive group of police officers. They're young, they're going out there, they're making contact. Our detectives and investigators are top-notch.
JSO's data also shows the percentage of violent death cases cleared or solved is also lower this year despite fewer cases.
New at 11, JSO arrested a third person connected to the murder of an Uber driver and a passenger in October. Police say that Antonio Tilley, the driver, was an innocent victim. JSO believes 3 people lured passenger Brian Grund, who was targeted because of a gang beef, and had a $20,000 bounty on his head. On Tuesday, JSO arrested Jimmy Robinson on murder charges. We've asked JSO to share his mugshot. Diamond Harris and Jaquan Mills were arrested last year. They both pled guilty. Police say data from Mills's phone pointed to Robinson. Glenn County Police are working to find out how a man died and stop rumors from spreading about it. Police say Michael Rose died early Monday on St. Simon's Island. So far, police say evidence and autopsy reports don't allow them to draw any conclusions on how he died, but police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
We're learning new details about a woman who was found Thursday after walking away from a nursing home. A police report says that woman walked away from the Cross Care Center on Blanding Boulevard on Tuesday. The report adds the 70-year-old has Alzheimer's and had not taken her medication. Members of Jacksonville's Missing Endangered Person Search and Rescue, or MEPSAR, they found her almost 4 miles away from that nursing home. They brought in helicopters, police dogs, and firefighters and used math to guide their search.
We use a statistical guide that gives us a 25% of 50, 75, all the way up to 95% ring, and that's our areas of probability. And she was actually between the 75 and the 95% ring.
Since it was formed in 2021, the search team has found 190 of the 191 people it has searched for.
A federal judge has permanently blocked parts of Florida's Stop Woke law. Governor DeSantis signed the law in April of 2022. It forbids certain concepts related to race, color, sex, and national origin from training in the workplace. A federal judge ruled the law violates the First Amendment rights of employers to decide how they train workers. You can expect the state to appeal that ruling.
Florida's back-to-school sales tax holiday starts Monday. The tax-free shopping period runs from July 29th to August the 11th. You won't pay sales tax on many common back-to-school items as long as they don't exceed the price set by the state. For more details, go to actionnewsjax.com. And you can save even more by thrift shopping. Some parents told Action News Jax they save up to 70% by shopping at places like Goodwill.
You can come in with $100 per child and buy so many things for them for the school year. And many of them have the tags still on them. They're brand new. So it's a little bit of a different shopping experience.
And she says you can find gently used clothing and even some items with the original tags attached.
Many teachers pay for classroom supplies out of their own money. In Clay County, the Tools for Schools program is picking up the tab. The group will open a free teacher supply store at the Garber Auto Mall in Green Cove Springs on August 7th.
We just want to take that one thing away from the teachers so they don't have to worry about their finances and just let them know that they're supported by the community.
Last year, Tools for Clay Schools says it purchased $130,000 in supplies for 1,200 teachers, and they hope to help even more this year. And Action News Jax and our Family Focus partners hosting our own annual Tools for Schools supply drive, and everything you donate is going to help local students. It's happening Thursday, August 1st from 8:30 to 5 p.m. at the Maggiano's Roundabout in the Town Center.
For the third time in a week, the Florida Department of Health issued a warning about harmful blue-green algae. Today's warning is for a bloom near Camp Achakoti on Doctors Lake. The state issued a warning last Friday about a bloom near Magnolia Road, also in Doctors Lake. Yesterday, there was a warning for a bloom between Mandarin Point and Orange Park. The state advises against swimming, playing in, or drinking water near a visible algae bloom. Overnight, SpaceX plans to launch its first rocket in weeks from Kennedy Space Center at 12:21 a.m. The rocket will carry 23 Starlink satellites. The FAA cleared SpaceX to launch after completing an investigation into a launch mishap on July 11th. And now that it is cleared to launch again, SpaceX plans to send a NASA crew to the International Space Station sometime before the 18th of August. They'll have to wait until there's room to dock. Right now, Boeing's Starliner is waiting to return to Earth until an issue is that uncovered during its launch 51 days ago is fully diagnosed.
Now, First Alert Doppler HD. Always tracking, always alerting.
Well, it poured on First Alert Doppler HD in some neighborhoods today. We're checking out Duval County on our neighborhood weather station network, and Kristen Dry was one of the highest rain amounts in the area that I could find today. You got 2.75. White House, Florida, 1.79, and Daylight Trail just under 2 inches of rain. Down into St. Johns County, we got some decent rain, especially in northern St. Johns. Victoria Falls Way, you got more than 1.5 inches. The rain amounts were a little less, though, closer to St. Augustine. It rained late this morning and midday, and then this afternoon and evening, a lot of the rain was focused away from the ancient city. You can be a part of our neighborhood weather station network. This is hyper-local weather data right down to your street and neighborhood level. Go to actionnewsjacks.com and find the First Alert weather menu. We're looking live outside tonight. Back up into Duval from our JIA First Alert Skycam network. It is quiet out there after the rain, and there is no rain left on First Alert Doppler HD. There may be some fog early tomorrow morning where the heaviest rain fell, but if you've got to catch a flight or you're taking someone to the airport, the weather's not really going to give you any problems. By midday, though, this is when we'll see the first hints of showers develop, as early as about noon to 1 o'clock. And then you see a lot of color on the map on the hour-by-hour forecast. By around 4 to 5, most of the shower and thunderstorm activity will be focusing near and west of Interstate 95. And then after sunset, the rain goes away. So you got to keep the umbrellas handy and keep an eye to the sky. There's a bit of a shift on Sunday. We're going to have more of an onshore wind, and that's going to push most of the rain farther inland by Sunday afternoon. That doesn't completely remove the beaches and I-95 from the threat for rain, but it does look drier with less rain. In the tropics, things are trying to pick up a little bit. We have an area to watch in the central Atlantic. This is a disorganized area of thunderstorms, and it is going to track to the west and northwest toward the Caribbean and eventually, potentially, the Bahamas by midweek next week. There are low chances of development with that now, but conditions do look to get a little bit better as it continues to move. And it looks like activity just is going to get more active over the next 7 to 10 days. So we're tracking the tropics. Make sure you are staying tuned. Your weekend is always in view in the First Alert 7-day forecast, with those scattered showers and storms tomorrow shifting inland by Sunday and Monday. And then Tuesday looks a little bit wetter, with more neighborhoods getting back in on the threat for rain, with a few storms continuing starting on Wednesday. You can stay ahead of the tropics and track that live radar in the palm of your hand. Download for free the First Alert weather app.
All right, thanks for joining us for Action News Jacks at 11.
Have a good night. Stay with us for First and 10. Action Sports Jacks coverage of the Jacks training camp is next.